Hello guys, Lit here. So this video will be about Reliquarian Strength Stacker Wonder. It doesn't have to be Reliquarian. I tried on Ascendance. It's more or less the same. Reliquarian have a little bit more damage because of the Grace of the Goddess Note. But we can easily switch this to Ascendance and it will be performed more or less the same. And I made video about the Strength Stacking before, but this one is specifically for Wonder because I know Kinetic Plus is just really good clear. And as you can see on the screen, the clear is just extremely good. The clear is basically like 2 screen wide, I think, if I have to estimate. The coverage is just really good. The concept is still basically the same with strength stacking with Replica Arboron will give you the flat chaos damage per strength, and we get a lot of the increased percentage damage from the Simplest Amulet, increased damage per 15 strength. We also get that from Iron Will. Iron Will will apply the strength bonus to spell 2, and then we can direct that back with the gem from Kinetic Blast. On the Kinetic Blast, there is an increase and reduction to spell damage also applied to attack damage at 200% of their value. And this basically gives us a lot of increased damage, and because the gem itself is already have this line, we basically free up the helmet, and that allow us to use a helmet that's going to give us accuracy and also critical strike chance per strength. So strength basically give us a lot of value, and it also gives us a really good amount of life. In this case 7k. 7k is not super crazy amount of life, but I will say this is a decent amount of life. And there's also a synthesized mode on the one where you can get increased spell damage per 16 strength, and that also contribute to the increased damage. And one mod that are unfortunately we cannot get is the increased AoE per strength, because I think that mod only available on Mace. And we probably can play with Breath Vortex with Mace. The damage is probably not as good as Minion Pack. I mean, we can use Minion Pack itself, so that's probably fine, but with that Mace mod, we can get like a really huge AoE. And that's probably fun to play, probably a project for next one. But for now, this one is for Wonder, and I just want to make this video as an archive and just try to include all the tech that I'm using. So this can be an archive for like a future use for Scion build. So this can expand the catalog of like what kind of build that you can use on Scion. And for mapping Kinetic Plus is just a really good skill for that. It have a very good clear. So now let's talk about all the tech that I'm using. The first one is obviously Replica Arborons. This is the one that gives us a lot of flat. And the percentage damage coming from the Simplex. You can use Ios Great Wall first and then switch to Simplex later on. Simplex is like an additional damage, but it's not really necessary. But the gem itself is really important. There's a line where increase and reduction to spell damage also apply to attack damage. Now for the single target, I believe there is a skill called Heavy Strike of Tartus. That one is also have this line, but that one I think you have to use staff. But that skill I think have a really good single target DPS. But for clearing, obviously Kinetic Plus will be a lot better. And the increase and reduction to spell damage is really good because of the Iron Will. Iron Will will give you increased spell damage per strength, and that basically getting converted to attack damage 200% of their value. So you just get a lot of increased damage from this. Right now I'm at 3.6k strength, and we also have the mod on the synthesize one. It gives you 1% increased spell damage per 16 strength, and this spell damage of course going to convert to attack damage via the gem. And this gives us like around 10% more DPS. It's not super crazy. We probably can go for like explode or like just get both. I guess I just cannot find a base for both with have like a spell damage per strength and also explode. I don't find the base, so I'm just using this base and spamming Essence of Zeal to get the attack speed and try to get a critical strike chance and or critical strike multi, and basically like reforge crit to get the other one. And for the prefix, it's just reforge chaos. You're very likely to get the flat chaos, and there's only one tier, so that's nice. And then we just using a failed exalted orbs with sufficient change and hope to win the 50-50. Basically we block fists. I think you always guaranteed to get the either spell damage or penetrate chaos resistance. So if you get the spell damage, then you craft the chaos resistant penetrations, and if you get the penetrate chaos resistant, we just craft the spell damage. And the new one is also the helmet. This helmet have two elevated mod. The first one is the hunter, minus 12 chaos resistant because we are dealing chaos damage. And the elevated warlord this is the one that are really good. They're going to give you 1% increased crit chance per 10 strength. So this helmet alone give you like increased 360% critical strike chance. And it also gives you like a ton of accuracy. We have like, I don't know, 4,700 accuracy. You can even run a maps with player half res accuracy and you still kept your accuracy at 100%. So this mod is really good. And the prefix is not exactly great. I just looking for life and just craft the AoE and basically it. But we probably can look for something like armor. That's probably not that bad of an idea either. And the chest is just a normal chest with like triple armor, chaos resistance, strength, and attribute. I think we probably also can get like a base with 8% attribute. But for now, I think this is good enough. The Ether of War implicit give you less damage taken per strength. This gives us a lot of DR from that. And also crit multi for attack damage, that's also pretty nice. And the glove is not exactly great. I still have the melee damage. Obviously not going to do anything for the wonder. This is my old glove. But if we want to look for a prefix, we're probably looking for something like hybrid life or armor or something like that. That's not really that big of a deal. And area of damage is just nice for the explode and also for the KB itself. And the implicit 3% damage per strength just give you a lot more increased damage and also gain 1 rage on attack hit. This is really important because rage is a multiplier. So the base is we have 30, we have 5 from here, so we have 35, that's like 35% more damage. So the rage is really important to be there. For the ring, I still haven't made like a miss ring, so I don't need the crit chance anymore. So basically we're just looking for strength and crit multi and basically try to miss them. I think we can get like 160, 170 strength from that and a lot more crit multi, so there's a lot more damage. And the strength basically going to make up for the crit chance. And the life is like we have 7,000 life. I think we can lose the life and probably fine. And for the shield, I'm using Svalin because it's just really good in terms of like defense. So right now we are at 43 and 49, and we have a Rumi Flush here. With the Flush, we basically have the 50 and 55. We also have some block from like the Guardian Jewel here. If we attack, we get attack block. If we cast a spell, which is Assassin Mark and Steel Skin, you're going to get a spell block. We basically add 87% chance to block with lucky. Because the one thing that makes Valence really good in terms of like defense, because chance to block is lucky. And that's basically make you most of the time not getting hit, so that's nice. And even if we get hit, we have like 7,000 life, which is a pretty good pull. Not super crazy. We obviously can go more tanky, like I only take this life node over here because this is a parting through, and I need this node for the strength from the Little Pride. This is the only number with the Little Pride that have triple strength, which is this one percentage strength here, and percentage strength here. But I think this one is pretty expensive. In budget, you probably can just look for like double percentage strength. That's probably fine. But the point is, we have a lot of access to life. This is a life node over here. This is a life node over here. There's also life node, and life node. There's a lot of life node you can get if you want to. We can drop some of the like this 3 point here, this 2 point over here. You can get a lot more life. We probably can reach something like 10k. So in terms of defense, I think we are good because we have a good life pool and we also have a 87% chance to block via Svalin. So in terms of defense, this feels pretty tanky, and especially if we're talking about KB, most of the time you already cleared the screen, so you're not getting hit that much in the first place. And for the passive tree itself, there's a 2 node here. This is Inertia. It's a very cheap jewel. But this jewel basically gives me around like 140, 150 strength. Like if I take this one off, we lose quite a lot of strength. And in this spot is also the same. We lose a lot of strength because of it. So this 2 spot is really good for Inertia. This end up giving like 8 to 9% DPS because of the strength alone. The bummer is just this node over here because we need some form of leech, and before we get them from the Crown of Ice, so this is basically what I'm using before. So this Crown of Ice is going to give us like attack damage, leech, life, and mana, but because we're not using this anymore, I need some form of that, and the closest one I can find is this one. So I have to path through this way. So if we can find another source of attack damage, leech, life, and mana, we can move this one node to here. And that basically going to basically give you a little bit more strength, not too crazy, but just trying to min max as much strength as you can get. Because these two node over here is really really good. Like this one give you 20 dexterity that can transform into 40 strength, so that's nice. And every single like this dexterity node also becomes strength, so that's the reason why we get a lot of strength from this. It's just this leech node over here is just kind of awkward because it kind of cut off here. So that's a bit unfortunate, but so far this is the most efficient spot I can find. And I'm basically using a lot of cluster here. This is cluster with strength, elemental resistance, because this is how I kept my resistance. And with this flask, basically we are at almost 60 plus, so we can take all the Ether of Altar's mod. This one though is a little bit different. Initially I'm also running the same last cluster, but I want some explode, so the efficient way to get it is just using this last cluster by using the unspeakable gift and overwhelming malice. And this one is really important because it also gives you a chance to apply wither. And the unspeakable gift is just a really good explode to have. But because we are using this, we are losing a lot of strength and attributes. So the way I compensate for that one is by using the small cluster that have 35% increased effect, strength, all attribute, and increased damage. The increased damage is not the most effective node. Ideally, I want Wall of Muscle. Wall of Muscle going to give you 5% strength. That is better. But it's really hard to hit that one, so I just settle with this one. This one is T1 attribute, T1 strength, and tier 3 increased damage. The increased damage is fine. It's not too big. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a little bit extra DPS. And the same with this one. This one is T1 strength, T1 attribute, and T2 increased damage. So this basically compensate for the strength that we lose from the large cluster, and we do lose 2 jewel socket for it, but we move the Bond by Destiny and the Watcher Jewel here. This 3 point also gives some strength, so this is a nice spot to get a jewel socket. So that's how we get a 3.6 strength. We do stack quite a lot of strength here, and if I can get like the 180 strength on my ring with Dramatic Miss, we probably can reach very close to 4,000, if not 4,000. And I move the Unnatural Instinct here just to get the AoE, because the AoE is really, really nice for the KB and also very, very nice for the Explode. So that is the Wonder Strength stacking Reliquarians. And once again, the Reliquarian is not mandatory. We can easily swap this to Ascendance. You're probably going to lose these 2 nodes, but on Ascendance you get a lot more strength. You can get also Deadeye, which is going to give you additional projectile. Also Tailwind, which means you move faster, so that's nice. So Reliquarian or Ascendance, I think this is a matter of preference. So that's basically about it. Next I probably will try the Blade Vortex, just try to see like how big of an AoE we can get on that one, which I will need currency. I basically spent all my currency on finishing this one. So yeah, I think that's it from me. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment below. I will try my best to answer it. And thank you everyone for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you on the next one.